There's no way I am taking this from you.
And you will watch your tone when you talk to me. I am really sorry. I'm really sorry.
Good morning, Hill City family. It gives me such a great pleasure to welcome you to this brand new teaching series, Make It Work. I believe strongly that you are going to be blessed and your life will be shifted. How do I know that? Because God has invested so much in us. God has inspired and revealed so much to us, and we have gone the extra mile to package this experience just for you and your loved ones. If there is any refrain you will hear continually in this series, it is this thought that it is not difficult to have a great marriage. We are going to say it over and over and over again till this series is over. It is not difficult to have a great marriage. Every relationship holds the seed of a lasting union. Whether it blooms depends not on faith, but on the character and the commitment of those tending it. The anchor scripture for this series is Psalm 1 from verse 1 to 3. Our emphasis is on verse 3 that says, that person is like a tree planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in season, and whose leaf does not wither. Whatever they do prospers. And on the strength of God's word, we believe that your relationship will prosper. I'm going to ask you to pay attention. Listen, don't allow yourself to be distracted. This is one series that will not leave you the same. Let's go into the message right now. I want us to start with this bold statement. It is not difficult to have a great marriage. Let that sink in. It is not difficult to have a great marriage. Now let's do something. Whisper to the person sitting beside you. If the person is your spouse, you're blessed. All right. Say to that person for me, it is not difficult to have a great marriage. Tell the person, it's not beyond you. You have what it takes to have a beautiful marriage. Okay, I want to share this thought with us. It is going to be the recurring thought as we continue with this message and, of course, with this series. Every relationship holds the seed of a lasting union. Whether it blooms depends not on fate, but on the character and commitment of those tending it. Let's read it again. Every relationship holds the seed of a lasting union. Whether it blooms depends not on faith, but on the character and commitment of those tending it. The thought that it is not difficult to have a great marriage for me is predicated on Psalms 1 verse 1 to 3. It says, blessed is the one who does not walk in step with the wicked, or stand in the way that sinners take, or sit in the company of mockers, but whose delight is in the law of the Lord, and who meditates on his law day and night. My emphasis is from verse 3. That person is like a tree planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in season, and whose leaf does not wither. Whatever they do prospers. Whatever they do prospers. And as far as I am concerned, a believer's business prospers. If he walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stand with sinners, nor sit with the scornful, if he meditates on the law of the law day and night, he will be like a tree planted by the streams of water. So his business prospers. Okay? His academics prosper. His health prospers. His marriage prospers. One thing that is also embedded in this verse of scripture is how that marriage is God's invention. And so it takes what? God's principles to make it work. Psalm 1 verse 2 says, but whose delight is in the law of the Lord, and therein does he meditate day and night. So when I say it is not difficult to have a great marriage, it is because marriage is God's invention. Marriage would succeed based on God's principles. The blessed man meditates on God's principles day and night. So for the child of God, it is not difficult to what? To have a great marriage. Now, in this series, we are going to explore some of those principles so that we can make our relationships what? Last as long as they should last. I mean, when we stood in front of the witnesses in church, we said, till death do us part. So if Jesus tarries, then the average marriage or the married people listening to me should not just be married till they die, should be happily married till they die. And the Bible is letting us understand the principles that guarantee it. They are in the Word of God. Let us proceed by asking ourselves this question. I want you to ask the person sitting beside you. Ask the person for me, what's in your suitcase? Or like they used to say in Nigeria in those days, waiting you carry. Okay? What's in your suitcase? The reason I'm asking that question is this. Nobody comes into a relationship empty-handed. Okay? We bring our strengths and weaknesses. Okay? We bring our fears, our hopes, our pains, our shortcomings. We bring the totality of ourselves into our relationships. Nobody comes empty-handed. We bring joy. Okay? And then some people bring direction. Some bring, quiet desperation. Some are looking for validation. The question is, what are you bringing into the relationship? But for so many of us, we bring unrealistic expectations. Unrealistic expectations. We expect too much from marriage. And that's what I want to address today. We expect too much from marriage. For so many people, we expect our marriage to fix the pains of our past. We expect our marriage to cure us of inadequacies. We expect our spouses to get us and to always get us. And sometimes, or most of the time, it is these unrealistic expectations that strain our relationships. Before we proceed, I want to share with you the story of Tosin and Tope. Okay, watch this with me and then we'll continue the message afterwards.
He had longed for marriage the way a thirsty man longs for water, not just as a blessing, as rescue. She pressed powder over eyes that had not slept well in weeks. She is 32, with 2 broken relationships behind her, and a family that had begun to speak in careful tones. When she walked down that aisle, everybody stood. And both of them, silently, handed the other an assignment. They were not marrying each other. They were marrying expectations. The first year was beautiful on the outside. Photos were perfect. Social media smiled constantly. Family members relaxed. But small moments began to carry unusual weight. A delayed text became disrespectful. Silence became withdrawal. Fatigue became a lack of love. They had unknowingly made each other responsible for healing wounds they did not create.
Why do I still feel alone, even though I'm married?
He didn't answer immediately, because he had been wondering the same thing.
Marriage is not rehab. Broken tools can't build a home. And that's why I'm saying to everybody today, fix yourself before you give yourself. Okay? Fix yourself before you give yourself. Some of the things I'm sharing with us in today's presentation is actually from my latest book, Bliss by Design. And in that book, I talk about singleness, and that's what I'm going to talk about for the rest of our time together. But before we proceed, let me share with you this interesting story. This happened so many years ago. Pastor Paul Adefarasin then was a pastor in London, and he had the opportunity to pick up the legendary Miles Monroe from the airport, who had come to town for ministration. He said when they were in the car, they had some conversation, they talked. And then somewhere along the line, Miles Monroe asked him, "Are you married?" And he said, "No, I'm single." And Miles Monroe said to him, "Oh, that's good. But make sure that even after you get married, that you remain single." And for so many people, that's puzzling. When I heard it from him so many years ago, one beautiful teaching he did, while I was on campus, until he explained it, I was puzzled to, what do you mean? Everybody wants to get married, okay? And the moment we get married, we are no longer single. But then he said, even after you are married, make sure you are single. For the purpose of our discussion, I will say it this way. If you must be happily married, you must be single. If you must be happily married, you must be single. Then the question is, what does it mean to be single? Singleness is not a marital status. It is an inner reality. Okay? Singleness is not a marital status. It is an inner reality. Singleness is the ability to face life with a settled identity. To be single is to be healthy on the inside. That's what it means to be single. To be single is to be healthy on the inside. This is what we are saying. Singleness is a prerequisite for a blissful marriage. Singleness is necessary inside a blissful marriage. In other words, to be fit for marriage, you should be single. After the wedding, to be happily married, you should be single. Singleness is not being unmarried. Singleness is being healthy on the inside. Singleness is what? Being healthy on the inside. What does that mean? There are three meanings to that. It means to be spiritually rooted. To be healthy on the inside means to be spiritually rooted. It means to have a functional relationship with God and a keen awareness of your purpose. In other words, you know why you are here and you know what you must do, okay, with the rest of your life. You are firmly rooted in your relationship with God and you have a keen sense of awareness. That's what it means to be single, to be healthy on the inside. It is to be spiritually rooted. Number two, to be single is to be emotionally steady. That is, you have control over your emotions because you can control your thoughts. So we said to be single is to be spiritually rooted. We said to be single is to be emotionally steady. Number three, it is to be personally directed. That is, you retain your agency. You have a mind of your own. You do your own thinking. And you take responsibility for your actions. I don't want what we are saying to be lost on you. We are saying singleness is not a marital status. It is an inner reality. We have said singleness means to be healthy on the inside. To be healthy on the inside means you are spiritually rooted. You have a functional relationship with God. You have a keen awareness of your purpose. You know why you are here. You know what to do with the rest of your life. It means to be emotionally steady. In other words, you control your emotions by controlling your thoughts. And then we said it is what? It is to be personally directed. In other words, you retain your agency. You have a mind of your own. You make your own decisions. You do your own thinking. And then you take responsibility for your actions. Now, at this point, I want to read to you, an excerpt from the book Bliss by Design. Let's read it together.
In the creation narrative, Adam did not begin with longing for a partner. He began with a relationship with God and an awareness of purpose. Companionship was added not to fix a deficiency, but to expand his capacity. Adam had a life before he needed a wife. He was complete enough to live meaningfully alone and mature enough to connect with someone else without consuming them. To be single is to know yourself and love yourself before you give of yourself. When you are single, it shows in quiet confidence. You enjoy companionship but do not fear solitude. You value affection but do not collapse without it. And paradoxically, when you are single, you are never lonely. People are drawn to wholeness more than to need.
And that for me is very, very instructive. People are drawn to wholeness more than to need. In other words, people are not going to be attracted to you because they need you or because you need them. People are attracted to the person that is whole. So what am I asking you to do today? Whether you are married or single, I am asking you to become single. How do you do that? Embrace God as your source and not as a substitute. That's the starting point. Embrace God as your source and not as a substitute. Let's read the book of Colossians chapter 2 and verse 9 to 10 together. It says, "For in Christ lives all the fullness of God in a human body. So you also are complete through your union with Christ, who is the head over every ruler and authority." So you are complete through your union with Christ. What are we saying? Man can only complement. It is God who completes. Okay? Man can only complement. It is God who completes. This is what I'm trying to say. You need God more than you need your spouse. You need God more than you need your friends. So the starting point of singleness is to embrace God as your source, not as your substitute. Embrace God as your source, not as your last option. Because a lot of us, we remember God when people fail us, when men drop us, when men hurt us. That's when we remember God. But you are supposed to what? Start with God. This is also what we are saying. Completion produces stability. Completion comes from God. Complement produces joy. Let me say that again. Completion produces stability. Complement produces joy. Confusing the two produces strain. When you place man in the place of God and you place God in the place of man, you are creating what? You are creating confusion. So for everybody, the journey to singleness begins by what? Embracing God as your source and not as your substitute. Now at this point, I have a message for the singles. This is my message to the singles. Heal before you deal. Okay? Heal before you deal. For most of us, something happened. I'm talking about in the past. Something happened. Okay? The circumstance of your birth, the way you were raised, an event on your journey, something happened calculated by the enemy to devastate you in your future. The first thing you need to do is to stop living in denial and tell yourself the truth. This thing happened. Or rather, this thing happened. For some person, it might be abuse. For some person, it might be impoverishment as you grew up and it dealt a blow to your self-esteem. For somebody else, it might be an event. But you see, something happened. For some other person, it might be the environment in which you were raised. Maybe it was violent. Maybe you were neglected and abandoned. Something happened. Don't live in denial. Call it what it is. Identify it, define it, and remind yourself, marriage does not heal. It multiplies whatever you bring to the table. So the first thing I'm asking the singles to do is what? Is to identify this happened. Okay? I am angry most of the time. I have anger issues. I feel inferior. Okay? I struggle with a sense of inadequacy. I get angry easily. I am a people pleaser. Whatever it is, identify it. And then tell yourself the truth. Marriage does not heal. So, whatever my challenge is, marriage is not going to fix it. I am not getting married to be happy. If I am not happy by myself, my marriage is only going to multiply what I bring to the table. Then number 3, if you don't heal, you will hurt others. Singles, listen to me. If you don't heal, you will hurt others. So what am I asking you to do? Number 4, get all the help that you need. Whether it is spiritual or it is psychological, don't wait till you get married and don't think marriage will fix it. Maybe I should be a little bit direct, especially with the men. Marriage does not fix lust. Many people make that mistake. The reason why I'm struggling now, the reason why I'm burning now is because I'm single. The moment I get married, I'm going to have all the sex. No. That's why the people who are not faithful as single, even when they get legal sex, they are still unfaithful because marriage does not heal. Marriage multiplies. So get all the help that you can get. If you need spiritual help, get it. If you need therapy, get it. If you need counseling, get it. Then we move to the next level. Know your baggage and take responsibility for it. Because that you have identified it, that you are getting help, does not mean you will have gotten all the help by the time you get married. So as you approach marriage, define your baggage and take responsibility for it. I give my example. At the point of getting married, I was still very, very choleric. I am still choleric, but I am better now. I am growing. I am maturing. But at the point of getting married, I was a rough choleric, insensitive to people's feelings. I was a goal-getter. As long as I achieved my objective, I didn't think it mattered how people felt. That was who I was. But knowing my baggage and taking responsibility for it helped me. So there are times when something happens, I want to respond, I remind myself, you are only going to respond like this because it is who you are. Hold back. Hold back. Hold back. Okay, that's name your baggage and take responsibility for it. Make sure that whatever it is that you have dealt with or that you are dealing with does not become a problem in this relationship. Let me say it this way. Don't expect people to take you for who you are. No, you are designed to grow. You are designed to evolve. Take the acceptance, take the love as the opportunity you have to continue to develop and to grow. Don't say to yourself, you know me and my anger. No. Don't abuse people. Don't back people into a corner and expect them to operate with you different from the way the rest of the world operates. You are going to hurt yourself. You are going to hurt that person. This is what I'm saying to you singles. As you go into marriage, make a conscious decision to be a blessing and not a burden. Okay? Be a blessing, not a burden. What have we said? Something happened. Don't live in denial. Define it. Remember, marriage does not heal. It multiplies. Okay? So, get all the help you can. Because if you don't heal, you will hurt others. And even after you have gotten help, name your baggage and take responsibility for it. Make sure that in this marriage, my baggage is not going to be the problem. In this relationship, my issue will not be the issue. I will not be the reason why we are not happy. Because I'm going to take responsibility. Let me give you an example. So if you know you get angry easily, stop responding to whatever is said. If you know you get angry easily, once the emotion begins to rise, walk away. Even when the person is saying, we are still having this conversation, you don't walk away from me. Walk away and say to yourself, it is better for me to walk away than for you to become a punching bag. Don't say it out loud. She is offended because you walked away. As you mature in the relationship, she will realize it is better for you to walk away than for you to stay. But by all means, take responsibility. Now let me talk to the married people. Okay, this is how we practice singleness in marriage. Let your spouse breathe. Okay? Let your spouse breathe. I've got a statement I want to share with you. If you sacrifice your agency because of marriage, you will lose attraction. Okay? If you sacrifice your agency because of marriage, you will lose attraction. I think a lot of times ladies are the ones that struggle with this, but it applies to everybody, even men. But I've seen ladies struggle with this, and it is somebody sees you, you have a job, you have your own money, you're looking fly. A man looks at you from afar and he appreciates your independence. Most men are attracted to women who don't need them. So she's running business, she's doing well on the job, so he's attracted to you. Then a woman comes into the marriage and says, oh, I love you so much. And then she now builds a world around the guy and then sacrifices her desires, her dreams, her identity, thinking she's doing it to please the man. And what you don't realize is what you have done is you have crucified the very person you fell in love with. And you'll be wondering, I'm doing everything for you. How come you don't appreciate me as much as you appreciate other people? It is because that independent lady that had a mind of her own, that was running her own business, doing things by herself, is no longer in existence. Now, every decision you make, you want to ask his opinion. As far as you are concerned, you think it's love. As far as he's concerned, you are too clingy. So you don't sacrifice agency because of marriage. Let me say it in another way. Don't sacrifice your uniqueness for marriage. Use your uniqueness to strengthen your marriage. Somebody's wondering, are you saying, so if I have a problem, I can't share my problem with my husband or my wife? Are you saying, since we are one now, okay, shouldn't everything that belongs to me belong to him? No. There are 3 of us involved. And our job descriptions are different. A blissful marriage is not the union of 2. It is a union of 3. A man, a woman, and their God. You see, the God part is the one that you should take problems to. Your headaches, your issues, take them to God in prayer and share your testimonies and your wins with your spouse. Let me say it to you this way. When I have prayed over a matter and I know what God will have me do concerning the matter, discussing it with my wife does not transfer pressure. But a lot of times in marriage, we transfer pressure thinking that is the way it is supposed to be. I am confused. I don't know what to do. Then you are telling another person who is equally confused. At least you have the thoughts in your own mind. But if you don't know what to do, what makes you think another person knows what you should do? It's one of the ways we strain our relationships. A man is in business. Listen, when you win the contract, yes, share it with your wife. When you lose the contract, don't just come and share it with your wife. Take that one to God. The comfort you receive from God, the peace you receive from God. I mean, that's what the Bible says. Be anxious for nothing, but in every matter, by petition, prayer, and thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God, and the peace of God that transcends all understanding will guard your heart. It is with that peace that you should hold conversations. Not just talk about problem and dump emotions, negative emotions, your fears, your worries, and then dump into your spouse simply because we are one. Listen, we are only one in flesh. We are still 2 different individuals. We are one flesh. I mean, if you understand the concept of Trinity, you should understand the concept of marriage. We are one flesh, but 2 people. Now, there is one person who says, cast your care. Now, you don't want to cast your care on the one who can bear it. You are casting your care on the other person who is depending on the person who can bear burdens. And it is one of the ways that we strain our relationships. And finally, for married people, be clear about your expectations, but focus on giving. If you want your marriage to be blissful, you want to be joyful in your marriage, be clear about your expectations, but focus on giving. Let your focus be on what you have to offer your spouse, not what they have to offer you. When you focus on your need, resentment may develop, entitlement may develop. Okay, when a man thinks it is my wife's duty to cook for me, when she cooks, you are not grateful because you think it's a right to cook. But when you focus on what you are there to give, whatever the other person gives, you receive with gratitude. There's no entitlement. You focus on what? You focus on giving. Somebody's wondering, is that in the Bible? Yes. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 3 to 4. The Message Bible. It says, the marriage bed must be a place of mutuality. The husband seeking to satisfy his wife. The wife seeking to satisfy her husband. Marriage is not a place to stand up for your rights. Marriage is a decision to serve the other, whether in bed or out. I know this verse has been used a lot to talk about sexuality in marriage, but the context of this verse goes beyond sexuality. The Bible is saying, focus on what you are here to give. Okay? That is how it works. Galatians chapter 6, verse 7 says, do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. And so the challenge I have with a lot of people who claim to be believers is that they don't believe. Because the reason why I'm waiting for you to do something to me, to determine what I will do to you, is because I don't believe that there are three of us involved. And that the third person, God, is saying, for you not to receive what you have given, means I have stopped being God. Galatians chapter 6 and verse 7 is as important to marriage as it's as important to any other thing, giving, whatever. That even without your intention, there is a God who will make you pay me back. It is on that strength that I focus on what I am here to give, knowing fully well that as I continue to give what I am here to give, there is a God who is powerful enough to work on your heart to respond to me the way that you are supposed to respond to me. In my book, Bliss by Design, the first principle actually is godliness. When your relationship with God is what it's supposed to be, it will not be difficult for you to have a godly marriage.
If two people are still growing spiritually and emotionally, but they are committed to growth, right? Should they delay marriage until they are ready, or should they continue growing together? What's your take on that? Where do you draw the line exactly?
Yeah, and thank you very much for that. That's a very good question. Growth never stops. Okay? Growth never stops. So we are not going to wait till we grow to mature, really, in that sense. Because how do you draw the line? Okay, maturity is relative. You get it? But for each individual, there's a level you get to, and you know, I am fit. I am ready. Okay? So it's subjective. As an individual, you will know within yourself, I am ready. And how do I know I am ready? I am willing to give of myself to this other person more than I need this person to give to me. Okay, and that's what this first teaching is all about. When you get to the point when you know, I have a mind of my own, I have my relationship with God intact, I can do life by myself, then you are fit to be joined to somebody else. But like I said, growth continues, growth never stops. But if you're in that condition where you feel, I need help, I need healing, okay? I need more than I can give, or I'm not in a position to give, then you are not yet fit for marriage. And then when you relate with somebody and you find out that you are giving the person more than the person is giving, or you are the one doing all the giving, you are the one doing all the heavy lifting, then you know this person is not fit for marriage. Because the mistake a lot of people make is to feel like, I'm strong, I can carry us, okay? I can take care of us. In the beginning, that's fantastic, that's nice. But what happens after some time is you become resentful. Because true love, a blissful marriage is symbiotic. Any healthy relationship is symbiotic. You must give just as much as you receive. When you do all the giving and the other person is not reciprocating, somewhere along the line, resentment will set in. And so you don't want to do that. So you don't start that because you know the person I want to go on this journey with is not yet ready.
So if singleness is an inner reality rather than a marital status, how can someone tell whether they are truly single on the inside or just guarded emotionally, or, how can someone tell that they're truly single on the inside and not just emotionally guarded or independent?
Yeah, I get you. Because sometimes some people are you've just built a wall around yourself. And you say, I'm single. No, you are afraid, you are scared, you are insecure. But there is a shield around all of that insecurity. There's a facade that looks like strength to other people. It's very simple. This is the test I give to people. Go into your room as a single person, close the door. If you can be happy by yourself, okay, inside that room, without any other person joining you, you are single. If somebody else has to be present for you to be happy or fulfilled, you are not yet single. Okay, singleness is being whole on the inside to the point where you are willing to share with people even if they don't have anything to share with you. That's what it means to be single. And it is only from God, okay, that you can get that. So if you are not comfortable with solitude, if you cannot be found alone with God for a protracted period of time, you are not yet emotionally fit. When you keep needing people, okay, you do sleepovers, you are that kind of person that somebody must always be around you. A human being must always be around you. Then it means that spiritually, you are not yet fit because you are essentially a spirit. So it means that you are living from the outside in, not from the inside out.
Marriage is not real.
Yes.
Knowing fully well that not all of us are completely old. At what point can one honestly say that they are healed? Emphasis on healed enough to pursue marriage.
Fantastic. This is how you know you are emotionally healed. When you can recollect the past without pain. Okay? So, like we said in the teaching, something happened. Don't live in denial. And for all of us, different things. How you know you have received healing is you can recall the past without pain. You know that concept of forgive and forget? It's not like we forget, but we can remember without pain. Because we don't even want you to forget what happened. Because if you forget what happened, it will happen again. Inside what happened, there are clues. Inside what happened, there are patterns. Okay? Inside what happened, there are steps. But if every time you recall the past, it still hurts, okay? You don't even have the presence of mind to extract lessons. You can't even share the story with anybody to benefit them. Do you understand? So you notice, for example, maybe a person goes through a divorce. I mean, this actually happened. There's this friend of mine that I've known since, way back. I just noticed that I stopped seeing her on Instagram. Okay, but I just minded my business. And then very recently, she made a post. I said, hi, it's been 3 years that I've been here. And she put it there. I went through a divorce, all right, and I needed time to heal, but I'm back. That is the proof of healing. You can talk about it freely. Do you understand what I'm saying now? You can talk about it freely. It means you are healed. You look at someone like Bishop Jakes, Sarah Jakes Roberts, they can talk about the past freely. Why? Because they have received healing. When they were going through healing, in those days, all you will know is they said one daughter of Bishop Jakes got pregnant out of wedlock. You won't even know which one. Do you understand what I'm saying now? You don't know which one because they don't talk about it. They won't talk about it. You will just see family pictures. They don't identify anybody. But when they got to a place of healing, she was the one that stood on the stage and told her own story. Do you understand now? Introducing her father, a woman that had lost, talking about what he did, how she went through one thing and all the other. When you can't talk about it freely, there's no problem. It means I still need to be healed. And somebody in that condition shouldn't go on into another relationship, not even marriage. Okay? Because if you don't heal, you will hurt. And hurting people hurt people. Now, this is just the beginning. In this series, there is a lot to come. So this is what I want you to do before next week, Sunday. If you have not gotten your copy of the book, Bliss by Design, then get your copy today so that you can catch up and be prepared for what is coming next week, Sunday. If you are in Ikeja, you can get yours at the bookstand. And if you are at the Lekki Church, you can get yours at the welcome desk downstairs. Don't go home today without getting your copy of Bliss by Design. And hey, it's a Q&A service on Sunday the 30th of August 2026. We have answered some questions today. Every Sunday we will answer questions, but on Sunday the 30th of August we are going to be focused only on questions and answers. So send in your questions early using the QR code displayed on the screen right now. The earlier we get your question, the better we can prepare your answer. So make sure you send in your questions as early as possible. Like I said, we have a lot more to cover in this series. Now, this is what I want you to do for me. Send the link for today's message. Just go on YouTube after the service, send it to a friend and loved one, and then let them know the experience is better when you are in the room. And next week, Sunday, compel them to come to church with you. Throughout this month, let's touch lives together. Let's make impact together. As our relationships get better, the relationships of our friends and our loved ones and our colleagues also should get better. And I'm saying to you, this is that month where you would be able to testify that truly everything changed for the better. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.